Minister Sylvester. You are very welcome to this episode of Understanding and Knowledge Acquisition. It is my best moment to actually describe to you the way forward and what the Lord intended for you as you have been very aware. Whether you lack the information or knowledge or not, He has done this that you may benefit from all His ways and knowledge that shall increase. So, whatever are the bit of strength, wisdom, and guidance to your going and coming in, that you cannot shut your ear or doors to. This is as such a room that you should have made open, a door unto this room that is made open, that you would receive abundantly the number and all the supply of His Spirit that poured the wisdom through you. Now is unto this that I ordain and predestined. It means whatever I am supposed to do, I have been able to deliver, and now that I have to present to you what I have. And with this, I wouldn't waste so much time, but to make it known to you. And right before you, I'm going to describe this very well, that you may know why we are very glad to having knowledge or wisdom of God creation. Let every name of God be shut down right now, because if they all claim to have a name being given, yet you don't see their works upon your life, they will come up with what? Disruption, confusion, and your whole life will be in a mess as that is supposed to be what? What you are not given, that they will force you to understand, whereas it's not understanding already. They create such things for people to be mad at things, and you have to focus more on what the Lord is saying. Do we have the men of God to create jobs for you and I, or we are only to do things without the knowledge of work, that if we're not working, what are we going to be rewarded with? What are we going to place ourselves like? Where shall we be? Is this going to benefit the Lord, having been a human and a spirit at the same time, or He will only require of us a part and portion of our going and coming that do not actually profit His kingdom? It is for this I have brought out this very scripture, and then we have a lot to be learned from this very scripture and what we are supposed to do. As we are, truly, if we claim that we are children of God, being led by Spirit, then the Spirit of God is able to pour abundantly unlimited wisdom and knowledge and creation. Now, it is only when we make our rooms open and heart open that these things will dwell in us. Now, we cannot also, out of praising God or preaching, receive it. We cannot with this do it. There's a requirement. A requirement is that we are to be what? Obedience to His will. And His will is that He's holy, that we must be holy too. He is a virgin. We must be virgins too. For if we claim in the name of just Christ, who was born of a virgin's womb, and we don't do things of a foundation of virginity, then it means we have not received of Him and the good of Him. Because whatever we say, if we are not on His foundation and following on things He has actually predestined, it means that we have no foundation to also talk of Him. And I will urge you to also subscribe to Mission and Minister Sylvester on this very same channel and also on our YouTube. We're going to be talking so much more of this because you need to know what your pastor or prophet is supposed to do. You are not there to worship with him any God that he serves. If he is truly led by the God who creates, then what is preventing him from creating for you and what? And apportion blames on maybe a president somewhere who you know that God has not called, because his line of business in this world is what? Politics. And are you also a politician? Now, you cannot do certain things to be apportion such blames. Okay, let's move on quickly. Now, it's this. It's a job creation is compulsory. I, as an angel of the Lord, the Spirit of the Lord is saying that job creation is compulsory, that the man of God will give job or work to his people. Now you can do this, go to the scripture reference to all this right now. Now pick up your scripture, your holy scripture, and you begin to what? Touch on things that you are to be led with and by this situation. It is powerful. Now if you take Psalm 90 Psalm 90 verse 17, it's going to tell you what? Galatians chapter 6 verse 4, you're going to have that. Titus chapter 2 verse 7 is going to give you more of this. Proverbs 14 verse 23 is all of that. And Proverbs 12 verse 1. We have so much. And now let me take you through right away the presentations, things that we actually been given and we're supposed to know. We must be aware of what we have left out there untouched. That is a basic requirement that we cannot do with such things. Now, let me go straight away from this side where we are to know. Now, look at this in Ephesians. Ephesians chapter number 4, verse 28. Listen, as I'll be taking this in a very humble way. I'm not teaching you. I'm not doing it. I'm teaching myself. So if you hate the Lord by his ways, then you hate everything about him. And now when you mention him anywhere, you're actually doing what you will, not his will. Because it is his will that will take you from the world of physicality to what? Spirituality. And from spirituality, where you call it eternal love, but it doesn't really make it life only, but there is flesh in that place. Because a flesh you don't know is that you cannot talk of heavenly things because you are not found in heavens. You are dwelling in one of these places where we call it planet or earth. But you have not known also that if you are born of waters, then the abundance of waters that we have on this earth shall have been used what in purifying you, so that you don't even go anywhere on a single adventure to what making the waters dirty. Now let me go by this way. You are understanding one thing here. On our presentation table, we are to what receive it abundantly. Yes, I cannot give you anything if that be not of what? Spirit. Because if I speak to you anything and that is not giving you what we need right now, it's just actually going to render to you nothing. It is baseless. It will have no foundation to really talk of the Lord Almighty. Yes. So let's move quickly by this for you to know. Ephesians chapter number 4, verse 28. Or I will start from either side. I have a lot to do. Now listen, somebody. If I had to just go by it this way, he said, anyone who has been stealing must steal no longer, but must work, doing something useful with their own hands, that they may have something to share with those in need. How we can say this? What is so different that you do not understand this simple thing? It's a straightforward thing. That we should stop stealing and have something to do with our hand. It means we are to produce. So our hand our hand is actually supposed to be what? Fruitful. What is the fruitfulness of the hand? That it should work and bring some kind of good tidings home. Know that this hand should be lazy and only get to work when somebody works and places something innocently somewhere, then you go and pick it up. This is where you'll be judged wrongly. But now the advice or the wisdom in this is that you are not supposed to do what? You're not supposed to steal. So even if he's saying that you're not supposed to steal, he's only advising that you should what? You should stop stealing and then do what? And work. He said, anyway, so like most of the pastors and the prophets are actually stealing you. They are stealing from you. They're good. They're little good you have. They are supposed to act to you that you may receive abundantly. Yes. Of course, it's just a responsibility to guide you on the way to life. And the way to life is actually when you are being fed, when you are being given food, when you receive life or strength or good healing or strength. All these are the way to what? Life. And so they are, when you keep that, you refer to it as what? Knowledge. It means you were given truly, or as guidance you have been given. So that when you apply it, it's working. So it as the result of what you have been given as knowledge, it's really manifesting that you receive what? Life. So without the manifestation, without any adventure of what? Doing as the word says, you are just actually what? Lacking knowledge. But as you do as the words or guidance being given you, then you are now what? Applying it so that it becomes what? Life unto your giving. This is all you need. Now, when you now tell somebody that you embark on this journey and you actually receive of this good, then it becomes what? Wise dominion. It means that to whom it is given that applies it also. It becomes what? Something that trap people not in their wickedness, but also what? Save them from what? Wickedness of men or the snare of wicked. That they are receiving of you truly wisdom. That is what you call wisdom, but you don't have to say wisdom. It is wise dominion. It is what has taken you out of troubles that you refer to as what? Having dominion over those troubles. That is why it has become what? Wise dominion. When you just simply say dominion, you are actually saying something. But when you also say wise, you're actually saying something. And when you say wisdom is actually when you don't know it at all. You don't know. Wisdom is actually a code. Wisdom is actually what? A code. So if wisdom is a code, you must decode it. So I'm simply saying that wisdom is what? Wise dominion. Being wise dominion as it's working something out, taking someone out of trouble and placing someone where they're supposed to be. Not that they lack knowledge, so that this has become what? Chronic situation in their life upon their flesh, that they could not even do anything. Because without you, they are truly nothing. Because if you are able to save someone, that means truly when they are without you, you are truly somebody important, very precious in them to them. You need always to know that. Now, what you're supposed to get from this understanding is that anyone who has been stealing must steal no longer, but must work doing something. So work means what? So they are actually in this idea, and wisdom is saying what? They define work as what? Doing something useful with their what? With their own hands. So when you are doing something useful with your own hand, it means you are working. I will get it. And the reward shall be that it shall be made known to people that you are truly working with your hand, because it is your hand that received that thing and now also gave unto someone that thing. So it shall be recorded in your name, and giving glory to the one who made it unto you, and to that transferring another glory to the one who made it from that highest before getting to your lower level. And now that you have received it, that it will not also refer to you as lower, but because you'll be placed on that level where we call what? Wise people. That's what you truly need to understand right now. I will get it. So he said, but must work. Work. How is work here in the kingdom of heaven or kingdom of God? Work is defined as what? So even if you don't know the definition of work or what it shall be like, that a book is just trying to define, the scriptures, the Holy Scripture is actually of this. The same purest wisdom, the same purest spirit of the Lord that is pouring in you or on you. He's saying that you do what? Doing something useful with their own hands, that they may have something to share with those in need. You are not actually going to share with someone who is in need or who just found you on the street and asking you for something. That's not the person. You know where you were born and who needed of you in the house or needed of you in the kingdom. If you truly have known yourself, you will know what the Spirit is able to do. Now, let me go quickly also onto this side. Now, First Timothy. Most people actually, when you begin to, bring out things, they'll say, oh, no. And what is the need of this? It is when you know that it is a guidance. You need this and know what people speak out there. That's not what you need. This is what you said you are following. And the Lord who also gave these people the power is that when you follow this path, it should also lead you not astray, but correct you and put you on the righteousness of the Lord and the righteous path, so that you will now intercede on behalf of people. If you know the righteousness of the Lord and you are placed on the righteous path or righteous hand on his side, then you'll be interceding on people, on behalf of people with his righteousness. And that righteousness judges all other things. This is all you should do and know why you have to do that. So First Timothy chapter 5 verse 8 says that, but if anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for members of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. So you can see from this, maybe the unbeliever must have had a way of working and actually giving to someone, but that they don't believe. Because why do they not believe? Because they have not been given anything. They have not been given a share of what you have been given. So that they have not eaten of the food that your parents prepared for you, that you have become a professor or a prophet or a teacher. And they say it is this that actually have made it different. Why they don't believe. So why they don't believe is not this, you understand that, or if they don't just believe that are just one of them that hate Jesus or Christ or God. No, it's because they have not been given what you have been given. You are from a different blood group and bloodline. You are from a family of probably prophets. You know what I'm saying? You are not as him. So that you can actually say, because he hasn't believed in your family or on you, he is actually against you. But not every word applies as you understand it. Because it is only when it's functioning that you know what it is. Now look at you who believe and have not delivered. Look at what you have become. He said the unbeliever is you are worse than the unbeliever. It means there will be something good that the unbeliever even have actually carried out that you would claim you believe. You don't just have a claim to have believed. You have been given the food. For they that walk with the Christ, they ate with him. They did all things with him. So they actually were given what? Believe. Do you know what the meaning of believe? That I give you strength to live, and you truly received it, and it gave you life to live. But how about those who were not given the power to live, but that they are starving or doing their way or following their own path and are actually making it a little way? So you who were given power to live, and you have not done what you are supposed to do as the one giving the power to do, like God has given you strength to go out there and actually save his people. And you came and you end up what? Giving it to the prostitutes, thinking they were the ones he has given you to give to, because he said that, and that he said you must give to charity. Do you know what I mean of charity? If you are not led by spirit and you do anything, you have not done it, because you will end up giving to the wrong people. And to the land you sow it, you will surely reap of that land unto which you have sown the seed you have declaimed have been given. Oh yes, this is not a kind of preaching. You must know that there are certain things, they are basic, a requirement. So what you don't have now is that a requirement you were not given, or things you are forbidden, that have become a portion of your life, that you are leading a life that is different from Christ. Yet you claim you have him. You claim. So before you can say you have him or he's in you, except you truly carry his identity and work and power forces. Without this, there is no spirit that bear witness to you that you are a son of God. And that's what makes you different. That's what makes the church is different from what? The heavenly kingdoms. So that you should know well from this. If you are a man of God or anybody big as you are, if you don't do such things, you are actually not given. Because he said, believe means what? I have given you life. Or you are told that today you will die. And I said, no, you will not die today. By power and spirit that I speak, that you will not die today. But that may be tomorrow. Because as for today, I said I can pay off today's price, that you will not die. So that I am able to carry you through what? To tomorrow. And then I did not just carry through to tomorrow, but I actually gave you something to do before that day comes. So that that thing which you keep doing will give you life continuously. Now, when you stop, then you are dead. Truly, you will die. It means that I gave you something and you did not receive it. So as you did not receive it, you have become unbeliever. It means that you are not the one who was given to live. The one who was predestined to live is this person we call to believe. The word simply is two things there. It is be lived. Do you understand what? Live means what? To live, like L-I-V-E, in your understanding of what? Knowledge, or being what? An educationist or educating someone. What do you understand to be what? Be lived. It means that you live, you are not dead. So when I say you should not die, but you should live, that is the word be lived. That is what is describing as what? Be lived. So you cannot just say to someone that he doesn't believe, or yes, because you have offered him nothing to have. So how can they believe? How can they trust in what you have not offered them? Their words you not actually go and say, because they are spirit, they have function. So this function actually is what makes someone trust or live that something is really good. So if this is understanding, and they just preach out there to you, or just say you are praising, worshiping, and you don't even understand the words over there, then what do you believe on? Nothing. What do you understand? Nothing. Because you don't even know what that word means. They are actually saying that when you are following Christ, it means you believe. No, it doesn't make it like it renders it even invalid. Like he's telling you that if you have this thing that you have not done this, you are worse than the one who does not believe. So it means that those who have seen Christ that day, if they were given a task to perform and they have failed to do that, the one who have not seen Christ in this day but is doing it, that person is better than you who were given from that day to this day. So you cannot even compare our days of work to those who really were given. You are such, you can describe yourself, whatever. So let me move. We won't waste so much time. So to say that you deny the person who worked in the house of the Lord of his right, the right that he was given, that he should eat from his toil, from his work, he must be given to eat. And you took that food and gave to what? A prostitute out there. Because you say that, or you say you have the understanding that you must give to them that don't believe. What do you understand by belief? Other than the one who have worked, that his reward must be given and you gave to another person. You understand not. So Christ did say actually that for you abuse the power of God. Yes, the words over there. Because you don't understand the power of God. And you don't understand the scriptures, what they were meant to deliver. So let's go quickly. Maybe someone is looking at it to be standing in one place. Now let's go to Acts chapter 20, verse 35. Now listen here. He said, in all things I have shown you that by working hard in this way, we must help the weak and remember the words of the Lord, just Christ. How he himself said, it is more blessed to give than to receive. So this is why if you are giving more and you are not receiving, you will feel it. You feel something is taken out of you, being taken out of you. But if you are just like a stick or stone or dry thing, and you are giving and you don't feel what you are giving, and you don't also expect that something is being taken out of you, it is there. Do you know what happens? It is when you are giving and you are receiving less that you know that, yes, you are functioning. If you have a barrel of water or a barrel filled with water, and you are taking that water out of that barrel and it's getting finished, and you know very well that you yourself need this same water, but that you are giving out onto someone who needs more, and that water gets finished, would you not know that you have actually offered yourself out? Because that same thing you are giving is what you need. But when you give evil, that definitely evil will return unto you. Because this you cannot change. Evil shall return unto they that do evil. It is written that I am not to say that it is written that you say it, because that is its work. Share the live broadcast with someone that they may understand what these scriptures are actually meant for. It is not for them to preach out there to you without what? Giving you. Now, if a man of God preach to you the word of God that creates and make life or give life or take away what you are not supposed to have or throw it away, or that he kill, just look at it. They say he raised it. Now, if you don't know what it is, you will say they said he raised the foundation of this earth and all in it through somebody. You don't know that person. And you don't know how this world was created because you don't even know it. The foundation of this world is what? It is totally spirit and angels. The foundation of this world is actually what? Is totally what? Light by itself. The foundation of this world is actually what? It is giving life. The foundation of this world is that he alone and his host made it work and live. That is the foundation. So if you do not come from any of these angles, you're actually not one that is regarded as what? Life or giving. He first made out of himself. He first made it. And he brought you into being that you should maybe hold a portion and look after it well. And that you must have named certain things according to their performance or function. That's what it should have been. You are to name things according to how they function. Not that you just give name to things. This is why you shall know them by their fruit. Were you not told? You don't understand these things. Okay, let me move quickly as we will move from this side to other places. So it is there when you are not receiving and you know that you are actually giving, that you know you are giving. So when you are giving and not receiving, there you feel that you are truly giving. You are doing well. Yes. Don't let anyone mislead you or try to tell you or quote you scriptures. No, quoting the scripture is what? You and he. You look, there's one thing I will let you know here. Everyone who is able to read and write is a pastor. Yes. So if you can read and write and they are abusing the words again and you don't understand, it's because none of you over there is a spirit to understand what the words are there to mean or interpret. It takes the spirit to interpret the words. It doesn't take anybody's understanding of theology or as a theologian to interpret. Anybody, look, stop being deceived by theologians. When a theologian is giving you this, you actually don't understand. I hope you know what I'm saying. It's because it is spirit that interprets what is here. For the spirit is what? Is work. That's why he says, the one who believe and have not delivered unto what? What is supposed to be given to. That have actually denied that others or his fellow what is to be given. It means that the faith that you were told is spirit, but the faith actually as a spirit has what? Work. It establishes what? What you are trying to say. And if you fail to do this or fail to fulfill, it's true that faith has not worked in you. Because faith is not just a word, it's a spirit that bringeth out words and results. That is all you understand. That is all you must also be giving right now. Quickly, let's move. You might think that it is not what you need, but it is what? Somebody who created this path. He's showing you how he made a path. Now listen here, somebody. Now in Matthew chapter 5, verse 16. Now listen, Matthew chapter 5, verse what? 16. Here, listen. He said, in the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. Now you go to church, you learn about the scriptures, and God is saying that go and do this. God says we must do this. God says He's healing this. God, and you do not experience it. It means He has not loved you, so He will not show you His kind of love of these words. They are hidden secrets. So that the words, He said the words are, listen, He said that there is a deeper thing than the words. There is something more deeper than the words. You will not just say it same way. If you say same way, you just look at it in a mere way that is just about same way. That you look at your ways, like a kind of path you are journeyed. You look at it, but how about the one who also journeyed from Accra or Ghana to America? Do you have same way? No. There is a distance and hard work it takes to get to that final end. So that if you are not light unto others, you will do unto them what? Darkness. And this darkness totally would not have a portion in the light, for they cannot be together. For darkness and light cannot dwell in same flesh. It will be what? Battling all the time. And they will have at least an end to one of these decisions. It is not both darkness and light that dwell in one person, but it is the Lord who made it. But He had decided to separate Himself from human. Like He's supposed to be dwelling among us. I hope you know that He is here, but you don't see Him, because it takes only spiritual or supernatural light to see Him. For if you are not light, how can you see light? It will not bear witness to you that you are one of Him. So let nobody just teach you because we have been taught. No. Is it the Spirit that taught you? If a Spirit teaches you and you are giving that guidance, you know truly it was given by Spirit. That is why it will be different from a theologian. A theologian has actually been given that when you say this, it means in your life like that. But it doesn't make it what creates the word and the world itself. Because the world was created out of what? A spirit or supernatural being. So for you to understand these words, it takes a supernatural force of being a spirit to understand. It cannot be given to you by a pastor to understand what is God's mind. It doesn't render you this validity. This is where you must know where to be. For it is written that he who receive a prophet shall receive a reward of a prophet. Now he who also receive a righteousness or a righteous person, he shall not fail to also be given what? His reward. Are you not here clear with this? Is there any pastor name there? Where have you given function to the name pastors? There is no pastor here. You must know the work of a prophet and the righteousness of a man. Were you not told in James that truly you can gather in his name and say you are praying, but it takes only one person whose prayer goes there before it is answered. Who is that person? A righteous man. You can all gather in the name of prophets and pastors and all this and pray because it's a guidance. As you do this, the righteous man will surely come into place. Suddenly, he said he will take that place. And then it is by his prayer that what? The prayer be answered. It is a communication. So the communication must have what? A connection to whoever you said that you must be given. Through him, it will be answered. Now, if it is not answered, how can you talk of him? How do you say that the Lord has answered it? That you should believe that it is answered. If I am hungry and you have not given to me to eat, where do you think I should bear false witness to my own stomach that is what? Hungry? I will tell you surely, I have not eaten. That is the truth. Knowing the truth and the truth setting free. Now, if you are in position of that hunger or hungry, and then we have two men that stand before you, every one of them with what? Different function and what they must offer you a gift. One says you should be hungry. One says, I will give to you when you speak the truth. And the other one is saying that you should say that you've eaten, knowing very well you've not eaten. And then if you go with the one who said you should eat, knowing very well that you've not eaten, what reward shall you receive? You will lose the one who says he will give to you, for he knows that you are truly hungry. Because you have not eaten and you say you've eaten, he will not give to you this one, because the reward of he who said you should say you have eaten, that you truly know that you have not eaten, you have denied truth and gone for what? What put fears in you? Because you think he's showing the way. He's showing now actually a way. So you will lose of what? The reward of he who says, if you truly have not eaten. But because you are the one who said you've eaten. Now, for if you have truly eaten, then why should he worry himself to give to you what reward is, about who has not given. Like the one who has not eaten, is this reward going for? Now you have eaten, of course, you have been lied to that you should say you have eaten. So we will not give to you. Again, to say you have eaten, of course, we will not give to you. For we will go and give to whom? The one who has not eaten or is yet to find what to eat. Because if we give to you this one, it will be double and you must go there somewhere to waste it. This is clear. You don't need anything than this. Now listen to those who work light and light workers. So in Matthew 5:16 says that in the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works. It means the Lord requires of you what? Works. The Lord requires of you works before you are rewarded, right? Okay. So that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. Now, quickly, as I'll drive here. Now, listen, going to where the state of Psalm 90, verse 17. Now, it says what again? It says, let the favor of the Lord our God be upon us and establish the work of our hands. So he said, what work do you have that should be established? Is it prostitution, or is it armed robbery, or is it deceit of people or men, or trying to deceive someone and take off their goods, or have devised a way that I would show you surely that if you try to pick a right path, I will show you, I will deceive you that this word or path you are taking is not good, that you should go the other way. That the Lord will require of you this blood of a person. For you know that he was on the path of righteousness, and you have planned to deceive him so that they will regard him as one of you. This you cannot fail to lose your reward in wickedness. So he said, and establish the work of our hands upon us. Yes, establish the work of our hands. Having not known this, if you are a lazy person and you should establish this, you will be very what? Lazy. So I don't think we should waste time over this. If I have any good and I ask the Lord, be that unto me as your words. And the words are not spoken by words, but it said power. Now let the power so brightly giving strength and quicken my flesh and my host, that it should not be like a living or non-living, but that we should see it living, truly, completely living. Wow, that is good. Now look at it, somebody. Now it says, Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11 says that, it said, take no part in the unfruitful work of darkness, but instead expose them. Now you have work to do. So you see, you didn't know what to do. But today, Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11 says what? You have work. To do what? To expose the wicked plans of men. So Annas, if you were called Annas, you would have noticed that this part, you cannot judge him in all places to be one of you. He has just done something that you cannot hold any word to. Because he's doing work, and he said what? He's being fruitful in that way of what? Exposing you. Not the fruitfulness of what? You and I being together to doing what he said he's against. But if I'm against the will of God, how do you think I should get up and begin to do this? And I ask the Lord to bless it or to spiritually fuel it or power it, that I may see the fruit of these works. I don't think somebody knows better than you. Yeah, so let's say that it is not filled and it's not filled. Now, after this, I'm going to go on with this. So he said what? Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. Now, you see why someone should be of truth and others should be lying. So that the one who is going to give an account of you lying is what? That he participate not in you, what you do. So it's my right to be free or to have freedom, because the law of life is that I'll be set free. That I have freedom to do all that I'm doing right now. So that if you don't know it, you only participate in what you are really lack knowledge of. Now, 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 5 says what? He said, likewise, you who are younger. So he said he's talking about what? He's much concerned, very much concerned of what? Younger. Now he said, you who are younger, but subject to what? The elders. What are you supposed to do? Why do you feel like there's a connection? If the one who is teaching you is not elderly, how that he can teach you what you don't know? So whoever is teaching you what you don't know, that is what? Paying to him the respect or honor he deserves. Not that somebody growing with gray hair, that makes him elderly. No. As for him, his old age is that he is of himself what he is. His work and reward shall go after him. Not that he's teaching me anything. And a sign of gray hair does also not doesn't signify what? Wisdom. This is what I'm saying. You better know this. This is not their calling. They can teach you anything, but I'll show you a way that is different for all that they teach you. I'm not born of them. I'm not of their blood nor family. You can also have me from a family to believe or trust what I'm saying. You don't have to belong to me first, because if you claim you are the child of a great heavenly kingdom, then you don't have to follow any man than the spirit. My path is spirit. So I show you what spirit. And that's why if I speak anything on these words, I throw light on it, and it's different from what the men are teaching out there. Because these are the truth of what created it. These are the purest state of what? Creativity. And part of his creation is that you make all the time new things, a new system. He implements what? Something very new. Now, if I had to waste no time and I continue carving here, he said, listen here, somebody. Now listen, he said, likewise, you are younger, be subject to what? The elders. It means you must follow the wisdom of he who is speaking here from this channel to you. Don't look at me like a child, or maybe your days or youth, so you don't respect. For what I'm doing shows you who is mature or who is elder. Not the ones you have known in your family to have what? Elderly as they have gray hair. No, that is not an elder. Go and define elder in this book and you know whose work I'm doing. So if the ones whose work or words are here or spirits are metaphors or magnifying authority and what? Covering a lot of large areas that require large power to do, then you go and call an old man who is not able to go on mountain to show you what he can do. Then you follow him as an elderly. You are blindly following that person because you have lacked knowledge. So he will also rule over you by his what? His old age. And no old age have power over you. For Christ who did tell that, he did say that truly you should throw away that old man. So where do you apply this now? Apply and you shall know this. What I'm speaking in youth. Did Christ not say that throw away the old man? So who is in your life that is old that you cannot throw him away? Now it is you who have failed to understand. Because when the Spirit is given, he will give it in all truth and purest state. So that he said, clothe yourselves, all of you, with humility towards one another. For God opposes the proud, but gives life, love, grace is what I'm defining. He gives love and sweetness in this person to the humble. So he said, the one who already carry love and is able to manifest love in your life or your flesh, this is the one they call humble. For if you have known love, you will know who is humble. It is not marriage that you are given in the world, where you shall be judged of this marriage. Quickly, I will go for a commercial break. No, let's go just for a short break. But let me take one more before we go. I'll take the third part of this before we go. That we may know the Lord is able to do all things according to his ways, not the ways of men. Let me see if I can go for this. All right, so this is where I actually put this. Now, titles, look carefully onto these things. Subscribe and keep sharing. You need it. Look, no pastor can give you what I'm saying. No prophet can give you what I'm saying because it takes the Spirit of God to do it. What they tell you is not the Spirit of God. I'm telling you, I discern. Go and ask. Define the word discerning and ascending. Go and ask them if they know any of that. If you can discern, then you know the mind of God in heaven. Know what they preach to you. God does not prophesy. He performs. He creates. He has no time for prophecy. He show you what they say will happen tomorrow. He can show you today. That is him. God does not prophesy. But when he delivers a word and time to someone, then because of time period or because of time, then that time it will take is what he's referring to as what? Prophecy. How we get it? The difference between time and prophecy, or the difference between he will do it now and then he will do it later is what I'm showing. The time difference is what makes somebody prophesy and somebody make it known right now to you, create. So the one who makes it right now is the one creating. The one who make it, or the one whose process will take another level before it manifests is what? Prophecy. It means it takes time. It deals with what? Time. That is all it means. So in Titus chapter 2 verse 7 to 8 it says what? In everything set them an example by doing what is good. In your teaching show integrity. So integrity is actually saying what? What do you do? That shows what? Maturity. That shows that nobody can judge what you are doing. Of course, if it's given from that highest place, who can be on this low level to say, I understand better than who is in the heaven, giving to you what is of heaven now, right now. so that you cannot even compare this with what you teach people, because it's very different. May the Spirit of the Lord dwell in power of a great God of Enoch and Hanok. You know that his name is actually not what it sounds, but until you know. Because if you don't know this, it shall be as they be treated, so you shall be treated. So the Hanok, the God of Hanok, and the Spirit and angels who have loved Hanok so much and have shown him. So I mean the seventh generation of Adam is this day of Hanok. And that is through Hanok that Abraham and all Noah and all these people were given. Before that, so it means you must have carried this birth through the right path, not going to make it like it was given and cursed also. Are we going, you know what I'm saying here? So it's like in everything, same an example by doing what is good. In your teaching, show what? So he's showing what you have to do in teaching. You should not just teach, but do what? Show integrity. So integrity, take dictionary and define integrity. So that if you don't have one, then it means that you can teach, but you don't have integrity. So it means that you are not doing what you have been asked to do. You can teach, but you don't have integrity. So it means that you don't want what it takes to teach. Now it says what? Seriousness. So being seriousness also what? Showing so much seriousness. And what? Soundness of speech that cannot be condemned. Now, if I speak an English language, or I speak a tongue, or I speak slangs, or I speak a language that you don't even speak, or you can't speak better, how can you speak, or how can you speak of me that I speak not well of the language I speak? For you knowing better that you cannot speak even one I speak. If you can't speak slang and I speak slang, and you are judging me of what language you speak, that it doesn't go with this. It means you are not one that should what? Talk about it. And the fact that you also speak this language well does not mean you are the angel who brought the language. So the angel knows himself and what he can do better with this thing you speak. You can speak this language, but you have no A. You can speak this language with A also, but you don't have the integrity. So these are things that makes it so different. So it means that it says what? You must show what? Show what? Integrity. So you must take into serious consideration integrity, seriousness, and what? Soundness of what? What part of this should we apply soundness, seriousness, and integrity? Speech. So he's making what? Speech. And speech is what? Language. Speech is what? Language. So making known to people the part of the language that you are actually emphasizing on. What is needful in that area of this speech. So a figure of speech or a metaphor. Like they're actually saying when you get to this place, there is a need, you need to stop or show light or throw light onto things. Okay, so that cannot be what? Condemn. I hope you get it. You cannot condemn me if you don't know how to speak English. How can you condemn me of English language? And they say what? So that there's a connection right now. So the connection is with what? Condition. All that he said you should show in this, that it may do what? It is presentable. That it may do what? It may present to you something. Now, if you do all of this, you shall not be judged of certain things. Now, listen to this is what? This is the condition. He said, the result of being all of this, that when these things are actually shown in your work or speech, this is the result. He said, so that those who oppose you may be ashamed because they have nothing bad to say about us. How we get it? They don't know of me. How can you go and speak of me? Now, 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15 says, do your best to present yourself to God. All these are the works you don't find that are workable, that are worked with, that if you do this, he will surely pay you. How we get it? When someone is trying to interpret to you or explain to you something, and it takes him 2022 years for Christ to come, and I suddenly come, and you don't know the Christ, that I am here on earth, and you are expecting someone to come, whose work is this that I'm doing? Then you ask the question and answer yourself. I am over 34 years plus. We are somewhere close to what? January. A day that I was born is coming again. And you are thinking I'm still standing in one place. Your time is wrong. Stay right there, and I will take my lead. Because my lead is that I should present. He says what? That I should do my best. So listen to what my best is. He says, do your best to present yourself to God. So you see, I'm not presenting myself to men, to you. No, you are not God. So I can condemn your God, and I present myself to the Lord who is holy, virgin. The God of the virgins, the holy ones. The God who also made the heavens, established it in heavens and earth. The God who made what? a path through also. He showed a part of him. He made a path through what? The waters. That Moses should take his people through that, so that when the enemies fail to what? Stop following you, he will condemn them. He destroyed them. Truly, you have a record that he that made them and established Israel where it is, he condemned what? The part of Egypt that they have lived, that refused to what? Following them. So they must have what? Stop following them. And they said, no, they don't understand certain things. They have to still do something or kill. Now it ended up what? Being what? They being killed. In a multitude of them, they were killed. So it means cost. It means you have wasted what? You have mismanaged things. You have mismanaged assets. This is a kind of leadership or style that have actually what? A judgment. Because you have lost your chariots, your men, your tools, and all equipment that you use in battling your enemy. So you have lost something big. It's better you have stopped following us. Yeah, it's better you would have fought, or it's better you had stopped following us, so that the little that you have accumulated, let it be with you. Maybe it will sufficiently give you. But when you stop not and follow us, and you end up dying, then you know that truly the Lord has rightfully judged you wrongly because of your wrong approach. That I may be what? That I may be what? I may present myself best before God and approved before God, not men. So it is days that some of you dress. I said, today I'm looking good. No, I am saying that I'm looking good before God, not for you men. I'm not saying I should be purified in you for you. I'm not a virgin for mad person. I'm a virgin for what? The purity of love. A winning part, that a role I play. As a manager of a group of companies, what do you think I would have been given if I had not so well delivered? What judgment do they hold against me that I have delivered my excellent way? Day-to-day activity, day-to-day report I have commanded, and that it never fall under me. This is my glory. Go find out if the Christ really have any judgment that is evil against me. Hell yes, I have righteousness. So he says, do your best to present yourself to God as one approved. So if you're not approved to God, it means you don't know yourself. You don't know your best. Now, what do you stand to be approved of? Righteousness, holiness, giving. You would have gone through all of these things before all these things happening as you hear it now. And then again, it says that a worker. So you stand to be what? Approved as what? A worker. Who has done what? Who has no need to be ashamed. Rightly handling the word of truth. So I am handling the word of truth. Do you understand what I'm saying? That I am doing what? That I said, you can judge wrongly, but it should not be what you are judging. Or what do you stand on? Do you have A or excellence to judge me of excellence? Do you have righteousness to judge me of righteousness? Do you have love that it takes to enter the heavens to judge me of this place you deny me of? I don't think so. So now let's go on quickly to this place. Now, 1 Corinthians. So like 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58. Now it says what? It says what? Therefore, my beloved brothers, listen, Christ knows me as a brother. Christ knows me as a father. Christ knows me as an African. He testified of the brother, African brother. Are you also one of him? Or you're just being in this location? I'm not mistakenly born, or it is not by mistake to have been born in Africa, but that I will do all that is impossible in Africa with the name Africa, so that you not say that, and God did not do such things again. He has always done these greater works in that land, Africa, or on the continent, Africa. For this is where he has always done the greatest thing ever in the world. Through Africa, the soil in Africa, the garden, because he kept in Africa a garden in Africa that cannot be wasted. So he said what? So I cannot call someone I meet on street as a brother or a brother. No. It is if you have died before and have been raised by this same spirit, then you are a brother indeed. You cannot be a brother because you go to church or you serve what you don't know that you serve in God or church. No, that is not a brother. That if you have been snatched by this word, you have been stolen. Like you have been just sold as Joseph, being taken here and then thrown in this place, the hell cast, scattered of all of that. So I'm not proving to you what they can teach you or preach as pastors and prophets. I'm showing you what you need to know. Understand that truth is handled by truth. Truth cannot be handled by someone who doesn't really have it. You know what I'm saying here? It is pure, written by this. If you can go to my workplace, find out about who was the great man called Sylvester, manager. Ty, they will say all kind of things. I work at the head office, and it takes that right to work in head office, not as you think. Because it takes no small person to be a great person. Because if you are not that great person, you cannot be placed in the shoes of what great people. How do you dare? So if I was made a child or small, I made it. Before you, I was never a child because before him, the great company owners, they know I didn't fail, not even one day. This is the joy that fills their heart, that they needed a man that will fit so well in that area to fight their corruption, to fight corruption. And I did it so well. This is the day they will hear me out and say, yes, a son of great heavens, not man. For the son of man came and they stole him. They robbed him. Like I'm saying simple, why there's a need for a righteous person to be placed in the righteous side. So that you place the wrong people also on the wrong side. That's all I want you to know now. For it feels in their heart, in their spirit, whether they love me or hate me. And say whether they promise certain things to do and they haven't done it or not. I did not deliver a failure to them. They know that this is a heavenly agenda I have delivered on today's greatest. This is a kind of joy that if you make a reference to your workplace or anywhere you have ever worked, that there should be nothing held against you as what? Robbery. So that they that plan it, I won. So I escaped all their judgment. Their judgment, I escaped because I have finished. Why should I be here again? Except you give me another place to try that. Let's go on. Because from glory to glory, that's how it's supposed to be. I got it. That's why when I finished, I realized that no, you need to know that I have finished with this side and you need to change me or upgrade certain things because I have built the whole system. And you trust me in the word that I built my company. So you can find out why I built. I built it. They know that I built the company because I did not rob and I made it. And so I did that to shame the ones who robbed him. I did that to do what? To shame the ones who truly could not be trusted. So as you have been denied of one day, as they cannot trust you once, so you cannot be trusted forever. And that I have a great place that they can trust and trust at least someone. Even if it was a spiritual battle for them to have known who have been trusted. There the result is. You should know what I'm saying. Account of good. So in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 50 it says that, therefore my beloved brethren, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of what? The Lord. So whatever you do, you should know that you have a greater part in the work of the Lord than other things, because in all things it is the Lord who is seen. The Lord is on the horizon. Whatever you do, if you don't have the Lord in that level, it means that you have a day you serve the devil, a day you serve the dwarf, a day you serve like this is what most people do. But if you do it all in the name of the Lord by His Spirit, to know that truly He created, then you should know that you truly did it all unto Him. Because it is not when you went for something to be made a manager that I was made a manager. I, as a leader, as the angel of life and angel who built the nations, I made it. And that you cannot hold any word against me. It is my personal account. It's not in the name of your Christ or your God. It is my name and my works, my spirit, that this is pure estate. Now go on with this again, that you may know something. Now it says what? So it says what? So there's a need for you to work and work so well. Now when there was a need for someone to place as a manager or a leader who will hold our company or build the company to the highest expectation of the Lord, that we need to progress or go on. Now as I am not stealing them, we had enough to do or to complete the work. So you see why I've truly established what is greater. But if we needed 1 billion to put up that story, and then I stole, let's say, half a billion or 200 or 20, it means that truly because we didn't get a billion, we could not build. That is why most people have become a total distraction to what? To their own company and the nation, or to the God that they claim to have been born of. So he says, knowing that in the Lord your labor is not in vain. Let me get to this place and say thank you so much for your understanding and attention and your great understanding that will not fail, because when you apply this, then you know it is not you deciding, but it's the will of the Lord that you not just read the Bible, but you do it, you apply it where you are supposed to what? Be. So you should not say the Lord showed you nothing but that of human. No, that is not what I show you. I show you what is beyond what human can show you. I know what I'm saying. And so you too must know that. Thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel, and that you cannot fail. You will not fail. I tell you, trust the word. You will not fail. because my work did not fail. And when I was placed as a great manager or a leader, and that's the reason why I have my leadership certificate. Now, you will not call it certificate because it is what? Achievement. That is what we term as what? Achievement. But when you school and then you are given any transcript or a certificate and you are yet to find yourself a place to work and you are just holding that paper, going about and looking for a job, that has not become achievement yet until you deliver. Until you deliver, that paper remains a paper. That paper is nothing because there's no truth that the great education is actually testified to be and attest me. Like they have no testimony until you deliver. I tell you. Thank you. I'll go for a commercial break and then until we return, then do meditate also on this. Shalom.